بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is your brother in Islam, Abu Ibrahim John Starling, coming to you live on Facebook from the American Graduates, the Islamic University of Medina page. It is again a great pleasure and a privilege to be broadcasting to you live, actually from Ajman in the United Arab Emirates. For those unfamiliar with what that place is, that is Dubai, for all intents and purposes. So, as you know, I have been traveling around quite a bit since I left Tanzania. Last week I was unable to broadcast. I was down with a cold. And the week before that, I was actually in Kuwait, visiting a friend of mine and attending a conference. Here I am, though, however, visiting some family and enjoying a little vacation, trying to get some work done. And through all of that, of course, my regular broadcast with you guys, I've been talking about loving Allah and means to gain the love of Allah. So first, loving Allah and the means to gain Allah's love in return. Today, inshallah ta'ala, in order to frame the tool, if you will, I want you to try and think about your most valued, enriching relationship. A relationship that you count on, a person that you lean on, if you will, someone that you can put your trust in, and someone that's there for you. Think about that relationship. Not only think about what it is now, but more importantly, I want you to try and think about how it got to that point. What is it that you did or that they did that developed into such a strong, beautiful, and enriching relationship? I can tell you this much. It didn't happen by doing the minimum. Good relationships aren't based on either side just trying to slide by. But good, strong relationships develop when each person gives their all. They put themselves into the relationship and invest themselves into the relationship 100%. And of course, if you think about perhaps that person that you love, that relationship that you're in, whether it's a friend, whether it's your spouse, whether it's a family member, you're always there for them, they're always there for you. It's not a time where they could ask you or need something of you that you wouldn't take the opportunity because of the love that you have for them. If they need your help, they need your advice, they need your comfort, they just need your companionship and your time. Because of your love for them, you do it. Even if you're busy, we'll take off of work, or we might even cut a class. Not that that's the best thing to do, but we do that sometimes. We'll rearrange our schedules so that we can invest in that relationship. And that's how the good relationships that we have are good. That's why they are great. That's why we love them, is because we are invested in them. And our investment brings about value. So you have to do more than the minimum in any relationship. So now we have to take this basic principle of doing more than the minimum. As we all know and recognize, it's something tried and true. It's something that is almost elementary in nature, the principle that is, in the relationships that we have in this world. And we need to take that principle and we need to apply it to our relationship with Allah subhanahu. In order to develop a strong relationship, a strong love for Allah, and then in return, to gain Allah's love, we have to do more than the minimum. I'm talking about above and beyond the basic requirements of the Muslim. And we know those basic requirements are embodied in the 5 pillars of Islam. Those are our basic, necessary obligations that are minimum. Right? So first, obviously, we have to fulfill those and live up to those basic expectations. Right? And then after that, we can't stop. We can't think, oh, I've done enough. And we certainly can't think that if I stop here, I should expect that not only will I find value in this relationship that I have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that I should expect that Allah will love me in return. So I want to present to you a very, very well-known hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari. And hopefully, when I mention just a portion of this hadith, it will inspire you to go look into the hadith further. And of course, try to think of ways to do more than the minimum. So the Prophet ﷺ, of course, narrated this hadith, and this hadith, Qudsi, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in it, a portion of it, he says, وَمَا يَزَالُ عَبْدِي يَتَقَرَّبُ إِلَيَّ بِالنَّوَافِلِ حَتَّى أُحِبَّ. He says, my servant will continue to draw near to me with the nawafil, meaning the recommended voluntary actions, not the obligatory ones. That was before. After you fulfill the obligations, then in this hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says that my servant will continue to draw near to me bin nawafil hatta uhibba, until I love him. So here you go. This is the tool that we need to embrace, is that we continue to do voluntary recommended actions, recommended deeds that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will continue to do them until Allah loves us. And there's 2 things that happen here. Number 1, not only is it that we're after Allah's loving us, but also it increases the value of our faith. I'll tell you how that happens. This is very important, because this is often where people are enamored and they are extremely attracted to converts. Because converts, they bring this level of enthusiasm, which is what it seems, and oftentimes in the beginning it is, but they also bring this value that they have in Islam. And the reason for that is because oftentimes the convert sacrifices the most. And this is not limited to just someone that converts. It could be anybody. Any of us, born Muslim or converted to Islam, whatever, the more you sacrifice, the more value you give to your faith. It's like anything. When you sacrifice your time or your wealth into something, you value that thing more and more and more the more you put into it. And that goes in this relationship. So the more time and energy that you invest in doing voluntary good deeds for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more value that you will find in your faith. And in return, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. So of course, the Prophet ﷺ went on narrating this hadith from Allah Azza wa Jal, and he says, وَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتُهُ كنت سمعه الذي يسمع به وبصره الذي يبصر بها ويده التي يبطش بها ورجله التي يمشي بها. He says, I will be his hearing with which he hears, his sight with which he sees, his hand with which he strikes, and his feet with which he walks. Meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be there for you. He will not let you down. He will not leave you to your own devices, but he will be protecting and preserving all of those major limbs and organs of the body, especially in times of need. And this is what someone does for those that they love. So this is where I'll leave you this evening here in Dubai, and the afternoon there in the United States, more than likely. And inshallah, I will see you next Wednesday, same time roughly, same place for now. What you could do for me in the meantime is engage with us a little bit and give us some ideas of what extra things we could do, voluntary actions? Give us some suggestions. What are some good voluntary actions that we can do in order to enrich our faith and inshallah gain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakallah khair wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.